In the center of a Boston city resided a woman whose name earned her respect in every part of the state. Her name was Promise, commonly referred as Really P. She represented authority and influence, and everyone wished to emulate her. Lady P owns multiple interprets in the nation and could easily be considered as one of the richest women around. She was not merely wealthy, she was influential and well connected. And this proved to be one of her most significant vulnerabilities. Her elder sister, Adora, who had long surfeit the ways of Lady P's achievements. With her sister's connection, Adora established fashion banquets, traveled around the globe, and associated with the big people in town. But Adora was not determined, she was just a slave and filled with envy towards her sister. Adora could not stop thinking how her younger sister could possess greater wealth than her. She always thought of herself as the one destined to be wealthy and popular. But as fate may have it, her younger sister, Lady P, became the rich one. Though Adora harbored a concealed jealousy and resentment, one evening she decided to visit her sister with a proposal that ultimately altered everything. Lady P, she said in a composed tone, you require a spiritual protection. All this wealth you have, people are watching and envious. You must find a pastor who will constantly pray for you to ensure that no evil intention manifests in your life. Lady P laughed and asked if Adora wanted her to abandon her businesses to start going to church. Adora smiled and told her that she needed to, if she wished, to live long to enjoy her wealth. I have a church that will be an idea for you. The pastor is a powerful man of God. We are recommended in the nation. Her church, House of Miracle, is a place of prayers and testimonies. Lady P, you cannot attain this level of success without spiritual support, she remarked to her sister, who completely concurred. That is how Lady P chose to join the church, with her sister, Adora, accompanying her. On one fateful morning to introduce her to the pastor who was popularly known as Wonder Lady. Lady P was promptly welcomed by the members of the church. Soon, a special chair was designed at the front of the church, executively for Lady P. Whenever she visited the church, she occupies the chair and listened to the preaching of the pastor who provided her with numerous prophecies about her life. God is about to elevate you even more, she would frequently tell Lady P, who she entitled into donating money for prayers, and requested that Lady P should sow a seed of 10 million naira for breaking foundational costs. A week later, another 15 million naira was safeguarded, and another 20 million to secure her destiny from spiritual assault. Lady P, who was eager to defend her empire, paid the amounts that were demanded. Her sister urged her to take the prophecy serious, as no sum of money was worth risking her wealth and status. You are not just anybody. See, you are the most influential woman I know. If anything happens to you, we are all doomed. Lady P nodded, overwhelmed by fear, which was marked as fate. And so she contributed and contributed and contributed. And within months, Wonder Woman had Lady P on a speed dial. She no longer waited for church services to meet her in a private session, which were always conducted in her office. And every prophecy came with a cost. Every dream, every vision, every revelation incurred millions. But Lady P trusted it all. She started to isolate herself. She no longer approved projects without consulting Wonder Lady for spiritual clearance. She regarded her and she disregarded her business institution and relied on spiritual guidance by Wonder Woman. Her managers started to voice their concern. Partners pulled back, but Lady P remained unfluxed. She believed that her riches were facing a spiritual threat and that she must do everything possible to protect it. It was during this period that her older brother Eze came to visit along with his wife Ella and their two kids. Ella was a genuine and a warm-hearted woman who admired Lady P a lot. Her children cherished their auntie and always enjoyed their visits to her estate. They jangle and frolic around the mansion as if it belongs to them, and for a moment the house felt like a family home again. However, her sister Adora despised Ella with all her being. She took every effort possible to poison minds towards Ella. One evening, she approached her sister to file a complaint about Ella. "She is a pretender," she remarked, twisting her lips as she continued to speak. "I have a bad feeling about her, and I would suggest that you will not fall for her pretentious behaviors. She's only here due to what she can gain from you. I bet that she's acting this way because she wants something from you," she said to Lady P, who struggled not to believe what her sister was saying. However, a few days later, Ella approached Lady P with a file requesting assistance in securing a job. "Auntie, I study a human rights resources and I have been applying for position without success. If there's anything you could do, I will be forever grateful," she said to Lady P, who accepted the file and nodded. "Place your CV on the table," she replied to Ella, promising to take action on it, but her decision has already been made not to assist Ella. Her sister's caution from the previous day continued to resonate in her mind, poisoning her persistence of Ella, whom she viewed as a user. That evening, Lady P delivered the file to a wonder lady, who laid her hands on it and began to pray. "This woman is trouble," Wonder Woman stated with a frown face. "She carries a destiny of competition, and the Lord has spoken that if you assist her, you will regret it for the rest of your life. She would replace you and become wealthier, even while you enjoy her life of hardship. Make sure you stop every opportunity for her success, or else you will face consequences." The next day, Lady P handed the CV to her assistant with a strict orders never to employ her. She even went as far as authorizing her connection to guarantee that Ella would not secure any position in the city. Whenever her brother or his wife Ella inquired about the job, Lady P would smile and assure them that she was actively working on it, but they were never aware that she was doing opposite of it. Months passed and even years, yet Ella remained without a job. She was unemployed, performing manual tasks to help her family. One morning, Ella encountered a family friend of hers who was surprised to see her cleaning her neighbor's house. "What are you doing here, cleaning house, when your sister-in-law is offering jobs to individuals who are not even related to her? The other day, I heard that she provided positions for 5 women on the streets to ease their lives." Ella smiled weakly as she wiped her hands on her dress. "Madam P must have her reason. I believe she's doing what she considers best for her friends." "Ella, how can you justify her action after everything she did to you?" But Ella shook her head. "She's under insignificant stress. People expect much from her, forgetting that she's mainly a human," she said to her friend, who shook her head and wished her luck. Deep down, Ella believed that Lady P was still a good person. She made justification for her, convincing herself that perhaps the hold-up in assisting her was a divine timing, or that Lady P might have sincerely forgotten about her. Then she decided to visit Lady P in her office. She reached the office and was greeted by the receptionist, who informed her that Lady P has traveled. Ella stood there as another woman was escorted into Lady P's office to meet with her. While Ella was told that Lady P had traveled, she confronted the receptionist, who completely disregarded her. In that instant, Ella could feel that something was wrong. She turned to exit when she noticed Madam P walking out from her office with her bag. "Auntie," she called out as she approached her side. Lady P wiped around her, expression harsh and unfriendly. "What are you doing here?" she queried, her tongue sharp enough to cut through the atmosphere. Ella took a step closer as she started to speak. "Auntie, I merely came to follow up on the job you promised to complete." "What audacity!" she shouted loudly, enough for nearby staff to pause what they were doing. Ella froze as she observed Lady P extend her lips and point at her. "Listen to me very clearly, woman. You see all this your humility and gentle talk you always present. It does not affect me. I know your type. You enter into this family to acquire assets, but I won't allow you to rise on my back, Ella." Ella's eyes filled with tears as she attempted to defend herself. Auntie, that is not accurate. I simply wanted to assist with the job. Don't you refer to me as auntie, Lady P responded. I am not your friend and I am absolutely not your auntie. I don't owe you a thing. Do you understand me? You are not entitled to my money or my assistance. If you enter anywhere near my residence or office again, I will deal with you, Lady P went on, lowering her voice yet making it more toxic. I will disgrace you. You are not ashamed of yourself for approaching me like a beggar. Ella murmured her voice. I never aimed to disrespect you. I only came to inquire about the status of the job that you promised me. Get out of here, she screamed as she turned away from her. Without looking back, Ella lingered for a moment. Her pride shattered. She began to depart as she walked down the corridor. Ella attempted to hold her tears but flowed freely like a fountain. She could not understand what action she might have taken towards Lady P that would justify such an intense anger. Lady P observed from the back seat of her vehicle as Ella boarded a tricycle from opposite side of the street. She took out her phone and contacted her pastor, whom she relayed everything that transits with Ella. Wonder Woman. She was overjoyed to hear this and responded, Well done, daughter of Zion. The Lord is pleased with thee for safeguarding your throne. Nevertheless, the battle is still going on. You must remit 5 million naira from specialized prayers. She instructed Lady P. We must promptly send the money without hesitation. As the months passed, Lady P's involvement in the church became increasing. Her seat took the insignificance of a throne. The church went as far as placing a logo on it, reserved for Excellency Lady P. One Sunday, Lady P reached the church only to find her chair covered in an unfamiliar powder. As she attempted to clean it off, she suddenly collapsed to the floor. Losing consciousness, she was swiftly taken to the hospital where a series of tests were conducted, revealing that she had a stage 4 blood cancer. Further disclosed that she had only few weeks left to live. Lady P observed as her health deteriorated in alarming space. She became increasingly afraid, and news of her disabling condition spread through her working place. Claiming she had few weeks left to live, her business-associated people began to withdraw from their businesses, apprehensively about what would occur upon her eventual death. Lady P summoned the pastor, who informed her that she was under an attack. She must plant a special seed of 50 million naira for 7 days deliverance prayer, or else the illness would consume her. Desperate for a cure, Lady P paid the sum without a moment's thought. However, after weeks, her health showed no improvement. Her hair began to fall out and her complexion grew darker. As her health continued to deteriorate, she remained hospitalized, leading to sadness while her company began to struggle. It wasn't long before the board members of the company replaced her with someone else. Her empire started to fall apart and her sister Adora was nowhere to be found. I am in Abuja for a business meeting, Adora tested. As her sister repeatedly called, receiving no answer, the pastor wouldn't answer her call either, leaving Lady P baffled as why this was happening. What she failed to realize was that her sister conspired with the pastor to rip her of her hard-earned money. The chair that was specially designed for Lady P was enchantment to cast spell on her to fulfill the pastor's requests at all times. However, on the day she fainted, the pastor has just refreshed the enchantment on the chair to cause Lady P to willingly part more money to them. However, this failed since Lady P collapsed before she could sit on the chair. Lady P stared at the hospital ceiling day after day, wondering how everything fell apart like a house of cards. One evening, as she lay in the bed, feeling sad and disheartened, the hospital door cracked open. Her brother's wife entered the room holding a flask and a bag of fruits. Lady P could hardly believe her eyes. What are you doing here? She questioned Ella, who smiled and placed the bag off the table. I heard you wasn't feeling too well, Auntie, so I thought that you might need some company, she said to Lady P.
whose eyes was filled with tears, not from anguish, but from remorse. The recollection of that day in her office came back like a slap to her face. I insulted and humiliated you, Lady P whispered as Ella reassured her that it was all behind now. I know you were under pressure that day, Auntie, she said to Lady P, who could hardly forget the incident and the bad she has done. To such a kind-hearted woman who had only given her love and respect, Lady P asked for her phone right away as she started dialing numbers, calling people to find a job for her. Everyone she connected was aware of her health situation and was unwilling to assist Lady P. She could not accept how she descended from being one of the most reserved figures in the state. She's now an ill woman, stripped of power or influence, and worst of it all, none was prepared to do her any favor. But Ella remained. She visited every morning with warm meals and freshly squeezed views, clean towels, and gentle smile. She tidied the P's room, massaged her feet, assisted her with bathing when the nurses were not available, and even sat with her for hours, chatting, holding her hands when she was too weak to talk. Ella never for once brought up the past. She never referred the office humiliation, never asked for assistance again, never looked at Lady P as she owed her something. She loved and served her sincerely. One evening, Lady P was too weak to lift her spoon. Ella fed her slowly, gently whipping her lips after every spoonful. Lady P looked at her with trembling eyes and asked why she was doing this for her. Era responded, because you are my family, Auntie, and because I still believe that the real you is still somewhere. For the first time in the week, Lady P offered a fat, broken smile. Shortly after the moment, her sister Adora reappeared, dressed in a grinkling gown and high heels, walking into the hospital like a loyalty. Oh my God! Promise, you look so different, she exclaimed with initial concern. I have been so busy with business, but I have come now and I will take very good care of you. Lady P did not say much and simply nodded weakly. In the following day, Adora began making phone calls, not to doctors or caregivers, but to lawyers and estate managers, seeking updates on her sister's properties. She started insisting that her sister sign power over ownership. One morning, things could get out of hand. Let's put this in place just in case. Lady P observed closely. She noticed how quickly Adora became impatient when daughters entered the room, and how Adora lacked knowledge about how to help her sit up or where the painkillers were kept. In this moment, she recognized her sister's heart. One morning, as she lay quietly in the bed, anticipating the worst, a young daughter rushed in, breathlessly and urgent. Lady Promise, we are so sorry. There's been a mix-up in your medical record. Her heart skipped. What do you mean? There was a lab error. You do not have cancer. Your blood sample was switched with another patient. You are suffering from an infection that has a symptom of leukemia, but is entirely treatable. Lady P sat up, surprisingly. I am not dying? No, ma, you are going to be fine. She was discharged 2 weeks later but kept it a secret, asking the doctor staff to keep it confidentially and quietly returned to her mansion. Lady P acted so weak, as if death still lingered around the corner. Her sister Adora continued her daily visits, pushing for the signs of documents, bringing in lawyers, and even threatening Lady P with the company futures if she did not do the right thing. But Lady P waited. Then one day, as Adora laid out documents in front of her, demanding she sign over the estate for the good of the family, Lady P slowly pushed herself up from the bed. She looked at her sister in the eye and said, you truly think I was going to die? Didn't you? Adora's eyes widened in confusion. What are you talking about? She asked. I am not dying. Not anymore. Standing to her feet with strength. I never had cancer, Adora. The hospital made a mistake and I chose to stay silent and observe what you would do. And now I know. Adora staggered back, speechless, but you see, Lady P continued, her voice now firm and steady. While you were out trying to gather my properties, the woman you tried so hard to poison me against was the one who failed me, cleaned my wounds and cared for me, and stayed with me through every long painful night.
As Ella entered the room, pausing in shock at the series before her, Lady P turned to her with a soft, grateful eyes. Ella, I owe you more than I can ever repay. She walked over to her, took her hands, and turned to the lawyer waiting nearby. Prepare a new document. I want to transfer the management of one of my companies to Ella's. She will be the director and make sure it stated clearly that the position is permanently. Adora screamed, You cannot do that, too. I can, Lady P said, her voice cold. And I will because I have finally opened my eyes to see who truly cares and who only come for a vulture feast. Lady P hugged Ella tightly. From now on, I only surrounded myself with people who love me when I have nothing. The once fair Lady P continued to beat herself and her business. The first step she made was to cut ties off with church and Wonder Ready. She exposed the manipulation and financial experiment, filing an allegation against Lady P to the authorities, warning others never to fall into the same trap. The media had a field day. Wonder Woman feed the country, her empire of disease crumbling like a dust. One evening, she hosted a small family dinner. No guests, just her and her brother and his wife, Ella, and their kids. Lady P wiped her eyes quietly, overcome by emotion. I was blinded, she said softly, her voice trembling, but God used my sickness to open my eyes. Not everyone who shouted your name in the crowd love you, but some like you in silence. She turned to her brother Eze, who had tears in his eye. I thank God for bringing your wife into this family. If not for her, I might have died lonely, bitter. Adora, on the other hand, tried everything possible to clear back into her sister's life. She sent long apology letters, fake tears over voice notes, and even tried to use family elders to intervene. But Lady P responded with only one sentence. I forgive you, Adora, but I did not think I want you in my space. Not now. I will always support you, no matter what. Adora read the message broken. She never knew that her life would be exposed and her greediness and bitterness such a public and humiliated way. Carefully crafted mark of corner has fallen off completely. For the first time in her life, she had to face the truth that she had lost her sister, not to death, but to her own betrayal. The lesson to be learned from this story is that nothing remains hidden under the sun. True character is revealed not in time of wealth or power, but in moment of weakness. Thank you for watching.